throughout the scriptures we see the Lord using anyone who's willing to trust him, step out by faith, and believe in his promises. He's willing to use those people, and the Lord has used some very incredible people. He's used a lot of average people, and whether you're average or exceptional, no matter where you are on that, the Lord is able to use our simple faith in him as we obey and step out and again try to reach those who have no access to the gospel. And he can use anyone. My name is Tom Carlton. I head up our consultant team on the field of Mexico. I also work with the E2 team and head up our people group assessment. And I'm part of the leadership team as well. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and then my wife and I went to Jackson, MTC in the United States, served in Papua New Guinea for a few years before coming to Mexico. When my wife and I were in missionary training, we took a class called Tech Tips. And in that class, you learn how to manage a solar system, and there's even some talk about house construction and all this area of home maintenance, building, power. Where are we going to get power? How is it going to function? What do we need to run X appliance on? I was so overwhelmed and discouraged, and I was like, oh my word, I'm not a handyman. And if I'm not a handyman, can I even be a missionary? Because I never built a house, I never built or maintained anything. And this older missionary who'd spent years serving on another field, he said, you know what, don't worry about it. I am also not handy at all, but the Lord provides what we need in this work. He provided people to set up my system. He provided people to help me maintain my house. And that was a huge encouragement to me, because it was like, okay, it's true that in and of myself, I don't have all the skills needed. But in the body of Christ and in the mission
Amen.
community, he has provided amazingly what we need to do the work he's given us. We need people who have the skills to handle finances. We need people who will work with the government as government representatives. We have so many needs, people who will maintain the facilities that we have, who will run our Bible school, and who will be a part of running our guest house so that people can have a place to stay when they're traveling through. So there's a huge amount of ways that support ministries enable our church planners to live in the tribe. When a new missionary comes and they are learning a new language, trying to live within a new culture, build relationships, that can be so awkward when they transition in. And to have people who are willing and ready to get knocked down, to get up again, and to continue to press on is really, I think, one of the best qualities, because it's just so easy to call it quits when it gets hard.
The works that we have actually seen come to fruition have generally been with missionaries who have stayed in the work, who have stayed in the tribe. Part of that is the fact that the tribal people actually gain a relationship with you. They learn to trust you. You've been with them when their child was dying, when things were really, really hard. You've been there through church issues, splits and problems, interpersonal problems, infidelity, all kinds of things. You've been there through the process. And they've seen Jesus in you. It's not like we're something in and of ourselves, but we have the Son of God dwelling within us. And for that reason, the missionary who actually stays there, they're able to say, hey, he walked through this with me, I walked through this with him. There are areas and reasons for leaving the field. I understand that. But that area of perseverance is incredibly important for seeing a mature church plant carried out on the field. I'm a kid who struggled a bit in school, especially in grade school. I started really young. I was 5 years old when I started first grade. I didn't really catch up with myself until I was in 8th grade. I hunted, I fished. I didn't do anything that was educational. And so I thought, me be a missionary, me actually learn another language, me go on to present the gospel. How can this actually happen? And it was impressive what the Lord did with me. I'm humbled by what he can do with a simple carpenter. I owned a business that was large roof construction and house construction before coming into the mission. And what God can do with ordinary people is very impressive.
Okay. What? Oh, sorry. Did I leave you hanging?
Yeah, leave me hanging.
Sorry.
You left me hanging.